Welcome back. If you are a borrower, there may be some more festive cheer for us. And that's because the Reserve Bank of India announced some relief for the borrowers. Remember, this whole controversy has been going on about once the moratorium was announced on loan repayment, whether there will be an additional interest on the interest for those months that you didn't repay your loan. Additionally, even if you didn't take up that scheme and were paying your loan, there is a cashback that's been announced by the Reserve Bank of India. So let's just break it down for you very quickly and help you understand what it means. Mr. P.V. Subramaniam, personal finance expert and CEO of Subramani, is with me this evening. Thank you so much, Mr. Subramaniam. Let's break it down into two. First, let's talk about those borrowers, loan borrowers, who may have chosen the option of the moratorium and not paid, any EMI for several months during the lockdown. What happens to them?
Well, thanks for having me. See, what happens is compounding means if interest can be compounded on a daily basis or on a monthly basis, right? So there is principal, then there is interest, then there is interest on interest. That is the way banks charge you, but that is exactly the way banks pay you also. So banks is just a guy who gets the money and gives it away. So the interest on interest is being waived, and that has been measured at 6,500 crores, which will be reimbursed by the central government to the bank. So you will start getting the repayment, which if you've not paid, obviously something will get credited to your account. But if you have paid the money, that money will get credited back to your account. So some money will start trickling in, and by 5th of December, I think you will have got the money.
Okay, and there is also another announcement that happened even for those borrowers who may have not taken the option of any relief or that moratorium and had continued to pay the EMI. Do they also benefit?
Yeah, they also benefit. This is what is called avoiding a moral hazard. If the government had not given the benefit to those people who had not taken the benefit, then next time when there is something like this, nobody will pay. Everybody will wait, saying, oh, the government will anyway waive it off, so let us not pay. This is to avoid that moral hazard next time something like this happens. So the people who took the benefit and those who didn't take the benefit, both of them will be getting this waiver.
All right, Mr. Subramaniam, I really appreciate you joining us and, clearing that up for our borrowers as well. So some amount of cheer, even if it is in small numbers, coming in there from the government and the Reserve Bank of India that's officially notified this decision and this scheme. Thank you so much, Mr. Subramanian. Completely out of time. In this edition, we're going to take a very short break, but there is a lot more on the other side of the 9 p.m. debate. More about the festive cheer and if Indians are buying more now than they were a few months ago or even last year this time. Good evening. Good to have you with us on this edition of the Urban Debate. One more time, we put the spotlight on the economy, and amidst the festival season, we're going to find out if Indians are spending a little bit more money, if they have loosened up their purse strings, if they're feeling a lot better now about life than they were a few months ago, or even last year during the festival time, and if indeed the data shows that, should we be taking it as a sign of economic revival? Or simply that because we had hit rock bottom a few months ago, anything is now seeming better? Is it just pent-up demand? If I am shopping today on the occasion of Durga Puja or Diwali, is it simply because I haven't been able to spend much money in the last 6 months and so I am doing that, but it doesn't really mean that our economy will start reviving? I have lots of questions, but let me just first go to you some of the data that has recently been reported. And in fact, this is a story that appeared in the Times of India today, where the data that collated showed that Maruti's retail sales have gone up by 20% versus the last year this time. That's what Maruti's recently reported. Interestingly, on the higher end, companies like Mercedes have actually shown better results and better numbers. So Mercedes retailed over 550 cars, which is double-digit growth for them. Obviously, they sell lesser cars because it's the luxury segment. But even in Hyundai's case, where the sales went up by 28%, for sales for higher segment cars and SUVs like Creta and Venue were the ones that actually led this revival. And this was in comparison to the same period, the Navratri period last year and this year. So this comparison was actually done from a festival to a festival time period. Again, if you see, even in consumer durables, for Samsung smartphones, the sales have gone up by 50%. Premium TVs are actually seeing significant amount of demand again. So there is clearly some amount of revival in the premium segment or the luxury segment. LG also recorded double-digit sales according to the Times of India story, and so did Panasonic for microwaves, for air conditioners, for refrigerators and washing machines. The sales have shown some amount of pickup. But let's not forget the bigger picture. The bigger picture is still the fact the World Bank has estimated our economic growth this year will be negative 9.6%. The bigger picture still is that the CMI has said that the unemployment for the month of September stood at 6.6%. The bigger picture is that our own Reserve Bank of India has projected a negative 9.5% growth for this year. The retail inflation is inching up. It's now touched a 8-month high. Finance Minister spoke today as well, and she herself said that yes, she does expect negative growth or at least almost zero growth for this year. So, how do we read this data? And are people really spending a lot more? Is it just a temporary bump up and spike, or could it be something else? That's the big question. Let's say good evening to Vinkesh Gulati, President for the Federation of Automobile Dealers Association. Joining us this evening, Madan Sabnavis, Chief Economist at CARE Ratings, Mukesh Kumar, CEO of Infinity Mall and Head of Subcommittee of SOP of Shopping Centre Association of India, Pankaj Doval, Senior Editor, Times of India, Ritesh Gosal, CMO for Chroma, and Lalit Agrawal, Chairman and Managing Director for V-Mart. So we've got a good mix of retailers, mall owners, economists, and of course journalists joining us this evening. I want to start with Pankaj first. Pankaj, thank you for the exhaustive story, really, and all this data that you've mined for us. The sense that I get is perhaps more on the premium segment, but there is definitely some amount of spending that has happened in the festival season.
Absolutely. I think what the data that we've seen and the data that I've collected basically shows that, yes, there has been growth during the Navratra period. But the issue that needs to be seen is this growth in the real sense, or is it more of the pent-up demand that had been there for the last few months? So is this something that we need to cheer about, or are we still not out of the woods? So I think we have to take it with a pinch of salt that a lot of this growth is also coming on the back of very, very deep discounting by the companies. Companies are coming out with festive offers. There had been a pent-up demand. And so we are seeing people coming back to the showrooms. Is it sustainable is the question to ask. And I think that we need to watch out very closely, because the confidence of the industry is still not very high. While obviously they need to speak very positively right now. But if you talk to them privately, most of them are very nervous because, these are not very long-term sustainable trends that we notice.
Okay, so let me bring in some of those who can also help us understand the trends they are witnessing on ground. And Mr. Lalit Agrawal, okay, before I go across to him, Mr. Vinkesh Gulati, let's start with you. Mr. Gulati, there is obviously some amount of gap that also happens between what the companies tell us about their numbers versus what perhaps you see at the showroom, at the dealer front. So what has been the interest that the dealers have seen during the festival season?
So it's a mixed bag situation, Tanvi, and first, thanks for having me here. So overall, it's a mixed bag situation. So some category we are seeing real good growth. So like September, we have seen in passenger vehicle growth of around 12% year on year. So and that growth we are still continuing seeing in the current festive month also, and Navratri has just been over. And the same or a bit better figure is being shown. But if you talk of the other categories like two-wheeler is a big challenge. We haven't seen any growth there, so we'll be a tad lower than the last year. And if I talk about the commercial vehicle and three-wheeler, they are also in a bad shape. So a lot of degrowth. So overall, it's still a positive sense because month on month we are growing after the unlock one started, and saying that our economy is back on track, auto retails are back on track will not be the right thing, but maybe the trajectory is in the right direction. Passenger vehicle, we have already seen the green shoots. Two-wheeler is itching towards the being normalcy, and maybe Navrat didn't do well for the two-wheeler, but hopefully the Diwali period may bring back the cheer to the two-wheeler dealers in the coming month.
Okay, let's hope for the best. But Mr. Ritesh Ghoshal, thank you so much for joining us. What is it that your stores across the country have seen? Is there more interest in the higher end products? And does it simply just look like a little bit of pent up demand because people didn't shop much during lockdown?
Look, see, our category is a little different. One of the impacts of lockdown and the pandemic has been a huge shift towards working from home and even schooling from home. So our category has actually been seeing strong demand and constrained supplies for months. Even going into lockdown back in March, laptops were already growing, showing increasing demand, and that has continued right through May, June, July, and even now it continues. So it's really difficult to say whether there is recovery because we have been seeing 20% plus growth consistently since August. Once our entire chain of stores, nearly our entire chain of stores opened. The final piece was the Bombay malls, which opened, I think, in the first week of August. We have continuously through August, our growth was 21%. In Shraddh, in the first 2 weeks of September, it was 25%. And in Navratra also, it's been 20% plus. So it's been consistent. And actually,
so let me just ask you this, Mr. Ghoshal. I understand. Yes. Okay, yeah. I understand that perhaps the need for better laptops, whether at an individual level or a company level, I understand even the need for better functional phones, for Wi-Fi routers, in some cases even maybe additional television screens, in their homes, depending on the profession. That buying happened. What about additional indulgent, buying for your gaming consoles or book reading, iPads and Kindles and all of those kind of products? Was there a difference there?
See, actually, everything we sell, or in almost everything we sell, has steadily seen an upward graph. Fundamentally, people are spending more time at home. So whether it is entertainment, it is happening at home now. So gaming consoles for some, high-end audio systems for others have started becoming a necessity because you can't go out in the evenings. At the same time, things like ACs, refrigerators, microwaves, these are all necessities today because you are cooking more, because you are shopping in larger quantities, so you need a larger refrigerator to stock more, because maybe, there are 3 people in 3 different rooms of the home, somebody's going to school and somebody's going to office, you need an additional AC. These are all necessities. That's been a fundamental shift that has happened. Home has become more important for people. Everything that goes into the home, making life more comfortable, more enjoyable, more tolerable, everything is a necessity today. And that's where, electronics have seen a huge surge in demand.
Okay, fair enough. Interesting point there. Madan Sabnavis, if you can come in here from the data that various companies across the board and in the consumer sector are reporting, how do you read it?
So actually, from the point of view of an economist, I would say that all this is very much expected. So let's put this in a perspective. In the first quarter of the year, we had a GDP declining or rather falling by 24%. And if you look at all the estimates for the year, we're looking at, like Care Ratings is looking at minus 8.2, RPI is looking at minus 9.5, and we have all the numbers in the vicinity of around 8 to 10%, a negative growth. What does this really mean? That this fall of 24% is not something which is going to be maintained in all the quarters, and there's progressively going to be improvement in this particular growth rate. So this is premised on the fact that there is going to be a recovery in consumer demand, partly in investment demand. There are rural demand coming in as well as the urban demand as far as consumer goods are concerned. So according to me, this is actually playing out the way in which all of us have expected it to. That's how we're getting this a single-digit decline in GDP growth, and nobody is talking of minus 24% growth. We should remember that this has been a man-made disaster where we've gone in for an economic lockdown, where we were not allowed to produce, we were not allowed to buy goods. Now, as we have allowed goods and services to be produced, as human beings are being allowed to move out and do what they want to, I think this is a very gradual process. It's moving around at different paces in different states. So it's but natural that things are going to improve, and we will be seeing these kind of positive numbers in the consumer goods segment. So I would say it's going according to plan. We should not get ecstatic about it, because I think this is demand which would have come in anyway, something which was constrained for the last 5 or 6 months, and we are seeing it today. So I think we're very much on track. Let's not overblow it by saying that this is there's a what you call a V-shaped recovery, anything of that sort. This is just part of the plan. But at the end of the year, we're going to end up with a negative growth rate in GDP, and probably that's something which should be of concern to the policymakers.
So let me just come up with a small follow-up. Can we say that we don't know yet if what we are seeing right now is sustainable? Could just be a mere blip because of obviously what's happened in the recent past?
Yeah, it's quite possible, because I think the other data which you had put up in the beginning about the unemployment rates, the data of CMI, I think that is the critical part. Because as long as people who have money want to spend, this is the right time where they will come out and spend it. But if I want to keep this sustainable, it has to be sustained over the next maybe 5 or 6 months. We need to have more people to have this purchasing power. And for that, we require to have more jobs created. And so far, we have not read about new jobs being created. Some companies, of course, have said that they have gone back to the original salaries of the employees. The salary cuts which were invoked earlier have been withdrawn. So all that will probably keep adding to demand as we go along. But we need to have more jobs created if this has to be sustainable throughout the year.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I think the difference there is to say, well, when we were all in a state of lockdown, the salaries were being cut, or some of the obviously some of the sectors had completely shut down. So people in those sectors didn't know what their future is going to be. They held back. We're obviously in a better state than that. In many cases, salary cuts have now been withdrawn, and people are back to the levels they were 6 months ago. Or the sectors have reopened, from hospitality to restaurants and even aviation to a certain extent. So some amount of that fear is gone. But let's not forget, the bigger problem was already there before we went into a lockdown. January itself in 2020 was disastrous for us. The fall that we've had in the last 1.5 to 2 years has been significant, and that problem still persists. So that's what we will have to look into. But if I can just come back to to the consumer sentiment we are witnessing right now, and Mr. Mukesh Kumar, is a lot of it still is the pent-up demand that's being displayed online via shopping, or are people beginning to now also visit malls and open up their purses there?
See, the malls started opening from the month of June. If you look at across the country, the first set of malls opened in the month of June. Then slowly started opening other states also. Maharashtra was the last state to open all the malls. See, Pentagon was there for the initial few weeks. I would say 4 to 6 weeks, maybe at the most 8 weeks. Now what we see is a natural growth. The Pentagon phase is already over. Now people are coming out and shopping. When we talk about the Pentagon, it's all about need-based purchases, which is basically limited to all your digital, your laptop, your phones, your refrigerator, your ACs. I think that's slowly getting over. Now people are coming back to the malls to buy regular stuff, which is like your apparels, your home accessories. You're talking about your gifting items, your casual wear, active wear. So it's not just about the Pentagon anymore. That phase is already over. Now we are coming back to normal growth, and people are coming into the mall because the festivities now. The last quarter is always been very, very important for the retail sector. October, November, December, because a lot of festivities, a lot of shopping happens during this time. So what we see now, slowly, people are going back to the mall. They started shopping. If you look at the eastern part of the country, the puja is pretty big in the eastern part of the country, and we could see that a lot of demand happened there. A lot of shopping happened there as well. Now it's picking up in the north and the west as well, with the Diwali season coming up, and we expect this to continue for the next couple of months' time. This quarter is very, very crucial for us, and we see a natural growth that is already happening. So I won't really see just a pent-up demand. It's also a natural demand, which is slowly coming back. And the people have money in the pocket. The salary cuts are getting over. We're expecting also people start getting bonuses now, so there'll be more money in the pocket. Once all this happen, I'm sure we'll have more footfall and more shopping happening in the mall currently. We already 65 to 70% in terms of retail. F&B started doing well. There are a couple of things which is not open, which is like your family entertainment center and cinemas, which expecting this to open at least in Maharashtra by next month. And I think all this adding together, I think we're seeing a good growth as of now.
Okay, if I can just go back to Pankaj for a few more insights, Pankaj, in your conversations with the manufacturers, and I'm going to just separate the two automobiles, on one side for a bit, but first the consumer goods, especially the appliances and the electronic goods. In your conversations with the manufacturers, what was the sense that you got? Do they see this continuing? I mean, people buying more microwaves and refrigerators at this point, or was it just a one-off thing that they've witnessed?
On the appliances side, we have to remember that some of this is also an offshoot of what happened during the lockdown, that we do not have house helps coming to our house. Or there are various other factors, like work from home, and also we saw a spike in sales of computers, I would say laptops, your smartphones, even categories like dishwashers and all, which never used to work in India. We've seen a spike in dishwashers, your vacuum cleaners and all, and obviously this is leading to kind of a churn in the appliances category. But the industry obviously is in a cautious optimism mode, as we call it, in the sense that is this sustainable is something that the industry is trying to see. How much is the sales happening because of the festive fervor and because of the pent up demand? Because once these stocks clear off, would there be similar demand around in late November when Diwali is over, or in December? And that is the main question, that needs to be asked. Because, obviously, in a lot of industries, we've seen they have been impacted by the corona lockdown and slowdown. So job creation is an issue, capacity underutilization. I mean to say that even you look at many industries where capacity utilization is only around 30-40%. So those industries are not going to invest new money. They're not going to create fresh jobs. They may not do new hirings and all. And there have been layoffs in many industries. So till the time that there's a natural progression of the economic growth, till that time there would be question marks that whether this is sustainable or not. So I think there is a lot of cautious optimism at this point in time. Obviously, certain categories, as I mentioned, like laptops or smartphones or your dishwasher, some of these categories did see a lot of growth.
Actually, that's a very interesting point that you made. That in during the lockdown, when people had to resort to doing all of the chores themselves at home, there was perhaps a lot more of buying that took place for these appliances. And Pankaj, on the automobiles front, I found it very interesting, and I'm coming back to that point again. That we're seeing a larger revival in the premium segment. Many people have had this fear that the lockdown is going to impact different categories of people very differently, and perhaps the revival at the lower end will take longer, or we don't even know if that will happen now.
See, the thing is that the lower end of the market is, I don't know, first of all, whether we should call it a revival in the real sense, because, as you yourself mentioned, that the economy was not in great shape even previously. The auto industry actually in 1920 fiscal, in the previous fiscal, had actually gone down by 18%. So we are actually showing growth over a low base year. And if we compare it to what we were 2-3 years back, we are still down. So we need to remember that this growth is coming over a low base period. Regarding the entry level categories and all, obviously, there have been some benefits to the industry because, mobility has been restricted and people are scared of going out in public transport. So, so you have a growth in sales of small cars or maybe even entry level two-wheelers and all. But the real sense of the industry is seen when you look at, categories like commercial vehicles, as Vinkesh said, because, they are the parameter of the economy. Commercial vehicle sales have still not picked up. When it comes to luxury buying, yes, there has been a growth. And there has been a growth for specific companies, companies which are introducing new models. And also the case in point out here is Mercedes-Benz. that have been introducing new models and have been going deeper and deeper into the market, maybe also with their offers and all. So they are clearly seeing the benefits of it, but whether it is widespread and whether it is also across companies in that category, that is still something which is not happening. So it is happening, but only for certain number of players. Even in the mainline, Maruti and Hyundai may be growing, but others are not growing. So we have to remember that it is only the market leaders who have been growing because of a lot of efforts, new launches, offers, and discounts. It is still not widespread.
Mr. Gulati, would you want to come in on this as well?
Yeah,
So-
I was actually waiting for it. So yes, Pankaj has dissected it well. See, we have seen that all the revival has come on the sector of the personal mobility front. The COVID social distancing thing, public transport, the fear of public transport has actually pushed customers to come out and buy vehicles. So we have seen a lot of interest in the entry level segments, which is majorly being catered by Hyundai and Maruti. And the second set, what we are seeing, I cannot say it as premium or what, it's actually the new launch segment. So if you talk of the products like Hyundai Creta, Mahindra XUV 300, or Sonet and Venue of Hyundai, these have seen the spike coming in sales because of the new model. So there are some customers who are waiting for newer model, who could afford a better priced vehicle. They have also come out after being 5-6 months in the lockdown or working from home. So it's a mixed bag on the both side front. Like Mercedes, I feel this is one of case and could be that that's a skewed in delivery which has happened during Navratri because of all the new products launch and the availability of all the new products launch in that period. Overall, the premium segment is not doing that great if you talk of other brands. Even in the mass market, if you see the premium vehicles, which is more than 15 lakhs, we are not seeing the required interest from the customers. So that's a mixed bag there. So we hope that this interest continues further. So like we are already seeing passenger vehicle in green shoots. So if this continues, like you had already at the introduction given a lot of factors to look up to after, is it actually an organic demand coming back, or it's just the pent up or the festive demand coming in? That is where we are also cautious on, and we are hoping that this is an organic demand and it will continue further. That's it.
I sense an air of caution there amongst most of my panelists tonight, and I do tend to agree with them as well. We will have to wait and watch how this goes. Ms. Madan Sabnawis, one question that I had was, to what extent do you think some of the steps that the centre had taken in terms of, festival boosters and festive cheer, putting more money in the hands of people, may have helped here, if at all? Mr. Sabnawis, if you can hear me, the question was to you. To what extent do you think that any of the steps that the central government took to put more money in the hands of people
I think,
may have helped us
to
here?
know what the government's measures would have an impact on consumption, we probably have to wait for months, because the government has 7 days of queues because. No, are you able to hear me? Hello, are you able to hear me? Audible?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
Are you? See, the thing is that, whatever steps were announced by the government, we should remember that it will take a month or two before it actually fructifies. Because we should remember that, for example, when employees are being told that you can use your LTC for buying consumer goods, it also means you will have to put in twice of your own amount. They said that's the ratio of 1:2, which means that if I get 1 lakh to spend from the government in terms of my LTC, I have to put 2 lakhs of my own. I might not even really work out. Similarly, there has been a deferment of the bonus which have been paid last year, which is coming in today. Yes, to a certain extent, I think that money would be spent on consumer durable goods. election, we could see something happening. But I think what is probably more important, the factor which I think I would like the panelists also to give their view, is that we've been talking a lot about rural demand. Now, what exactly are the expectations here? Because we see Kharif harvest has turned out to be good. If you look at the AgMarkNet site, we know that the farmers are actually receiving higher prices, but there has also been a delay in the withdrawal of the monsoon, which has meant a destruction of certain amount of crop. So I'm not quite sure how the demand story play out. And it will happen for onwards. Harvest actually starts in late September, carries on in October, November. So these 2 months are going to be very critical to see whether the rural demand story really plays out. I'm not too sanguine about the central government employees being working to a very big extent. At the margin, yes, probably there would be some bit of spending taking place, but that's not something which is going to keep things sustained throughout the rest of the year. I think rural is what we'll have to look at, what happens in the next 2 months.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Probably again, once the Rabi crop rectifies in the months of March, what exactly would be the spending patterns of the group? I think that will hold.
Oh, yes, absolutely. And I feel that even there's some amount of optimism that we're seeing from certain segments post a good crop may or may not translate into direct spending. And that's, like you very rightly pointed out, something that we will have to wait and watch in the coming months. Let's also say good evening to Lalita Agarwal, Chairman and Managing Director of V-Mart and the Chairman for the Northern Council of Retailers Association. Mr. Agarwal, always good to have you on the show. Let's begin with your view on the response we've seen from consumers this festival season, and then subsequently about, if there is more demand we're seeing in smaller towns and even in the rural areas. Mr. Agarwal, you'll have to unmute yourself. We can't hear you. Okay, we're just going to, fix that line with Mr. Lalit Agarwal and get a better, clearer audio line with him. Very quickly also, let me go across to Ritesh for some more insights. Ritesh, is there a difference in the buying pattern or the demand pattern that you've seen in bigger cities and the smaller ones at all?
See, smaller cities are actually growing much faster. That's one definite observation. And while we are talking about job loss, etc., fact is a very small proportion of the workforce in India actually has salaried jobs. And as you go into the smaller towns, go out of the top 5-6 metros, that proportion keeps shifting towards people who are in some way aligned to the agricultural sector, whether they're directly farmers or aligned to it through the trade they do or whatever. And these markets have been growing much better than the larger towns. And the demand is across what goes into the the home appliance space as well as the smartphones and laptop space.
All right. Let me just see if I can get across to Mr. Lalit Agarwal. Good evening, Mr. Agarwal. Can you hear me? Mr. Agarwal, good evening. Can you hear me? This is Tanvi here.
Yeah, I can hear you. Am I okay?
Good evening to you, Mr. Agarwal. What do we make of the kind of response we are seeing this festival season?
So there is a mixed response that we are seeing here in the market, and people are tired of being at home, not going out, not spending money, and not consuming things. So so people want to celebrate festival, but there are still restrictions and there are still fear in the market. So as Navratri function has not been celebrated in Gujarat and Maharashtra or Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, and Durga Puja festival and Pandal is not getting celebrated or not being, Pandals are not being made or allowed to be made in Odisha, Bengal, Bihar, and even in Northeast. So there is a mixed response. People want to consume. People are coming out to consume. But yes, the consumption levels still are not as per the last year. They are still lower than the last year. So the consumption is bound to increase because we are expecting the crop income coming in at the rural side. So that income will certainly add more kitty in the pocket of the consumer, and consumer is going to consume. So we are going to see a very good November in this particular year. So Diwali and post Diwali, the marriage season is going to be really very good. So what we are expecting here that the sales have come back. Sales have really come back very good month on month, and we have seen a great growth in the month of October also. And we are expecting more growth to come in the month of November and December.
Okay, can you give us some more insights into where more buying is happening, or spending is taking place right now, to also give us a better understanding of just how much people feeling better about life today than they were a few months ago?
I mean, definitely, people have started spending on. They were already spending on essentials. They have started spending largely on fashion, and especially even in fashion, they were more spending on leisure wear and comfort wear. But now we have seen in festivals, and they have started spending on casual wear and their regular party wears also. So people have started spending both in the tier ones and also in the small town tier 2 and tier 3. So we have seen good impact in tier 2 and tier 3. Tier 1s are still struggling a little bit because the fear psychosis is prevailing a little higher there. But yeah, even in large rural belt, we are still expecting some more growth to come in. So that is going to come in because the traveling restrictions are there. And because of Bihar election, the Bihar is also under pressure. Because of election, there are some disturbance in the market. So it'll come back, but largely we are seeing good growth coming in Uttar Pradesh. Uttar Pradesh has been a very good state where bounce back has been seen very good, and then the response rate is also very good with the consumers.
Oh, that's very interesting and insightful. But I just want to say, I hope people are spending more on appliances and stay-at-home requirements than on party wear, Mr. Lalit Agarwal. That won't be a good news for us. COVID hasn't gone away. So that would actually be one category where one would hope there isn't too much of spending. But I get the point that you're making. And let me take that point and, take it across to Vinkesh as well. Mr. Gulati, let's focus a little bit more about the different segments and smaller towns and rural areas, and if there are any signs already, or are we still simply hoping to see some amount of revival there?
So Tanvi, as everybody has said, and it's quite evident, so rural India hasn't gone into lockdown even a single day. So all the farmers were working overnight, and the migrant movement has helped that segment a lot actually. So they have got a lot of hands, and that has helped in the agricultural buoyancy and the return from there. So when we saw the unlock one happening, that was the rural was the biggest boost at that time, and we saw all the demand coming from the rural. So entry level two-wheelers, entry level cars from the tier 2, tier 3 towns and the rural markets were the first thing to come back and give the revival. But lately, for the past a month or two, what we are seeing that even the economy in the urban market or the metro market is also now come back. So not to the pre-COVID level, but there also the inquiry levels have come around 20% less than pre-COVID. The demand is now around 20-25% or 30% less than pre-COVID. So we are seeing the urban market also coming back slowly to its nearing to the normal. So, but the major part still is coming from the rural segment, and as you said, it's just not hopes. The kind of inquiries we are having, and we should also consider one big thing that in the normal year we used to get 2-3 months pre-festive where we could do activities on the road. The field people, the consultants can go to the customers, meet them, get their finance papers complete, which we couldn't do because of the COVID this time, one. And practically unlock happened from June, where coming back to normal, where can a normal working style continued, could happen at least in July and August. So we didn't get the preparation time pre-festive for creating the need of demand in the customers, preparing the finance formalities, doing activities. So Navratra was the problem of you can say the order book and not in that great was that. But I hope now Navratra is over. We have around 15-20 days before the Dhanteras Diwali period. This is a good enough time to convert all those inquiries we have, because we have still latent demand in the market. So we are hoping that in 10-15 days we'll see the conversion improving a lot and the numbers coming up. So revival, we are confident. We are confident that the revival
Okay.
is there. But yeah, please.
Yeah, I just also want to point out that a lot of this really depends on also people's sentiment regarding the pandemic. And right now, I do believe that there is a larger sentiment of things being under control and the number of cases coming down. And as that fear begins to come down, people will perhaps step out more, spend more, feel a little bit better about life. But tomorrow, if there is a second wave that hits us, and the pollution and the cold weather adds to our problems, and the violations during festival season adds to our problems, then all of this that we are talking about can simply go for a toss, and we could be, at a completely different point. That being said, I will come back to a note of optimism and hope. And I'm just reading, what Amazon has registered this time around, or even Flipkart, basically online portals, the kind of sales they have registered this sales season. Amazon sold more iPhones in one day during their Great Indian Festival than entire last year's sale period. The few days that they have every year at this time. They also said they sold about 2.5 times more Kindle devices on the first day than all of last year's sale period. So obviously they're seeing a great amount of interest, and the added discounts make it easier. Flipkart said it recorded 66 crore visits on its website, 110 order placements per second on the Big Billion Day sales that they had. So there has been a jump to about 4 billion worth of sales in the last 2 weeks just on these online portals. But online portals will benefit more when people are unable to go out and shop. So we can't see this as a clear direct sign of what's happening. For that, let me bring in Mr. Mukesh Kumar. Mr. Mukesh Kumar, in the malls and shopping zones, what is the conversion rate? How many people who are coming in are simply coming in with the intent of shopping, or have people now begun to just come in to take a break from indoors and perhaps are ending up shopping?
It's totally other way around this time. In fact, if you look at earlier, what used to happen, used to have conversion only 30%. On a normal day pre-COVID time is 30%. Today, the conversion is almost 70 to 80%. So today, people are coming to a mall, they come just for shopping. They don't just want to while away their time there. They're very serious shoppers. They know they need to buy something. It's all need-based. They don't just come spend time. In fact, the dwell time also in the mall has come down. Earlier, people used to stay for 2-3 hours. Now we have been noticing that never more than 1.5 hours. So people come to shop, they finish the shopping, they just leave the mall. See, it's all about serious shopping. So there's no more time for people to come and spend, because not too many families also visiting the mall, which has started now. In the past 2-3 weeks, I've been noticing families started coming in. Earlier, till the month of September, we only had people who were middle-aged or young people coming in shopping. But now families started coming in. So dwell time is increasing, but not, of course, till what used to happen last year. So conversions have really improved, which actually initiated around 80-90%. Now it's come down to 60-70%. So it's no more those people just coming, spending, hanging around the mall. It's all about serious shoppers.
Okay, Mr. Lalit Agarwal, would you want to comment on this as well, about the serious shoppers versus those who otherwise we would see and may end up buying something? What's the reality you're looking at in your stores?
Tanvi, this is one time when we only see serious shoppers, and no one else is coming and flirting around right now and doesn't want to get COVID affected. So we are definitely seeing very higher conversion rate coming in, and we are also seeing our bill size getting improved, because people who are coming in wants to buy more from one store and wants to buy more at a time. So they don't want to come repeatedly. They don't want to go to multiple stores. So they are very sure they want to come to some store only when they want to buy, and they will buy more than what they want or they would want to buy. So normally what we have seen are UPT, which is the unit per transaction, as well as the average bill size. Both have gone up in spite of the average selling price going down, because the average selling price, because of the need, because the budgets are decreasing, people's ability to spend is decreasing. People are not spending that higher amount in particular fashion, so they are spending lesser or buying lesser price product but buying more in quantity. So that's what we are seeing in the market. And I can tell you, the people are very excited. There's a good amount of family crowd. I agree with the gentleman. There's a good amount of family crowd which is coming in, especially to buy in for their kids wear. The kids wear clothes have been doing excellently well. Both infant, girls, boys, everything has been doing well. Whatever people have not been buying more is more lesser menswear and lesser ethnic women's wear. So that's what is going down.
Okay, very interesting there. Mr. Madan Sabnavis, you wanted to come in?
Yeah, just a couple of points. I think everything that has been said testifies to the fact that there is definitely a pickup in consumer demand. But the important thing is whether this can actually be sustained. The fact that we're saying it's only the serial shoppers who are coming in, yes, there is a need, and that's why people are going and buying their goods, things which you need to replenish your stocks. But I think one interesting thing which we should keep in mind is that with Diwali around the corner, and the fact that there has been a gold run, we've also seen this penchant for Indian families to buy gold. I think that could really increase. And I really don't know if it can actually spoil the party in terms of the sale of consumer durables. Because typically, if you're looking at your rural households, we have seen a lot of your wealth or your income seems to get diverted into gold. And since we have seen gold having a phenomenal run, there's been a lot of correction since it almost touched $2,000 per ounce. It's come down now subsequently. But still, it's around 40 to 50% higher than what it was maybe in the month of January. So there could be a kind of diversion of spending into that thing. And I think with Dhanteras coming up, that would be interesting to see as to what would be the kind of demand for gold and jewelry. And that's something which could actually substitute what people would go in for consumer durables. Because as has been mentioned by the panelists, it seems to be that the purchases are more of necessities, replacements, what is required. But that kind of discretionary spending where you just spend because you have money, that could probably go more towards gold. That is something which we should keep in mind, especially when you're talking of rural income.
Okay, fair enough. Just my very last question to you, Mr. Sabnavis, before I wrap this up. Just for people to also understand where we stand, one aspect like we've addressed here is clearly to say what's changed in the last 6 months or from 3 months ago when we were clearly at a rock bottom. The other is the larger context, the state of economy before COVID hit us and the long road to recovery once we get to that point, to that level, pre-COVID level. So when we say, Mr. Sabnavis, that our growth for this year would be negative 9 to 10%, what should the common man make of it or prepare themselves for the coming months as well?
No, I think what the common man has to be prepared for is that A, there's not going to be any further stimulus coming from the government in terms of higher spending or in terms of any kind of tax cuts. B, we're not going to see too many more extra jobs being created. Companies are going to be conservative when it comes to manpower because during this particular time period, there's been a lot of use of technology. And I think even companies are progressively observing or noticing that they can actually substitute labor with technology. So job creation is going to be a major challenge going ahead. And third, in terms of, if I do a slight digression, I think there's been a positive thing in terms of what the RBI and the government have done in terms of the moratorium and the payment of that interest on interest to all the borrowers, including the retail segment. So that is something which comes out probably positively. So I think people do have a bit of choice in terms of a low interest rate regime and where all they could be borrowing in order. So I think the housing segment is something which could probably look a bit positive. But on the whole, it's not going to be happy times for us. And I think it's more a case of the initial kind of pent-up demand, the spurt because of the enthusiasm. But things are going to taper off over the period of time. So I think it will be a very, very sedentary next 6 months is what I would say for the economy and for most people at large.
Yes, and let's not forget that this is a reflection of how people, especially in urban areas or the salaried class, may be thinking. But a larger reflection of the state of economy would also come from various other factors, not just of whether you and I are buying an electronic device or a car, but several other factors, whether we may have a job tomorrow or not, whether our business may survive tomorrow or not, or our sector may survive tomorrow or not, or we have a decent crop and some amount of money coming in our hands or not, and where we want to spend it, what happens to the rural economy, or even the businesses in the tier 2 towns. A lot of that has to also be separately analyzed. But I thought it was important, since we talk so much about the festival season being a very crucial point for our businesses, to know what Indians are thinking, what's their current sentiment, if they will spend some money, and how much will they spend, and what that may reflect for our economy. It was an insightful conversation with all of you. A big thank you to all of the panelists who've joined us, the retailers, the mall owners. Mr. Sabnav, it's always a pleasure to have you, as well as from the automobile segment. Thank you so much. Great insights. The key takeaway, viewers, is that even now, from all of these segments, the business community is very, very cautious. Yes, there has been some amount of spending and people have shopped this festival season, but no, we may not completely be out of the woods yet. Cannot be labeled as a sure shot revival. We will wait and watch for more signs. Time for a quick break. Lots more on the other side.